We're ready here at state. He can just start over with food. Y'all are just get started. That's her last encounter. So you can start when you're ready. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you can change that. Oh, yeah.
As that sounds, because kind of like cats, they can't produce a certain amino acid naturally, so to stay on and health issues, we give them that cat food so we don't have to worry. And then we can get something literally for the week. Today, we will actually get what we call Nebraska. It's a mix of different types of meats. And these guys will also get chicken one day of the meat, and they all love using the chicken. We'll also give them a little mouse on Sundays, and they love their mice. And then one day of the week, we'll actually give them produce. So these guys love vegetables. One of our foxes, his name is Joe. He goes crazy for his zucchini. So these guys definitely have some preferences. And then we'll also give them a zoo supplement known as Omnivore, because these guys are opportunistic omnivores. And just to make sure they get all of the nutrients they're going to get in the wild, we give them that supplement. So unfortunately for these guys, they're not at the top of their food chain, so they actually do have to worry about some animals wanting to eat them. Those animals that are their predators are going to be birds of prey. So those big nasty birds like to swoop down, pick them up, and take them off. So these guys have a couple of ways to get away from those predators. These guys can run super duper fast. These guys can run 20 miles an hour. So I don't know about you guys, but I definitely can't run that fast. So if these guys decided to take off, I would definitely be having to call in some help because I wouldn't be able to catch them. So thankfully, it usually helps with getting away from those birds. Another thing that helps them is their sleeping patterns. These guys are known as crepuscular. So these guys are going to be awake during dusk, and they're going to be asleep during the middle of the day and the middle of the night. They can get a lot easier for these guys. And now with those dimmer lighting, these guys have slits for pupils, kind of like cats, rather than circular pupils like canines. And like each of these guys have are semi-retractable claws. These guys live in burrow systems, so they love digging tunnels under the ground. And to keep those claws nice and clean for when they want to do that, they can actually about half retract it back into their paws. Now, since I'm talking about their paws, I want to mention something super cool about their paws, but first I'm going to paint a picture for y'all. So, have you guys ever been to the beach before? Middle of summer. Sand is super hot. You step out of your sandals and burn the bottom of your feet. So living in the desert, you guys think that they'd have to worry about that? So something really cool about these guys is they basically have built-in sandals. They've got a lot of fur that grows between their toe pads in order to cover their toe beaks, so they actually don't have to worry about burning their feet. Right here is super cool, and he usually lets me lift up his paw. So you see how you can't see any of his toe beaks because of all that fur. Alrighty, so that's about all that I have on these guys. Do you guys have any questions for me? Alrighty, so we're going to get on to the contact portion of our meet and greet. But first, if I can have everybody grab some hand sanitizer for me, and then with a flat hand, you guys are welcome to pet him down his back and his tail. But kind of like people, Frank really like hand or fingers in his face or on his ears, so we just want to pet him on the back and the tail. Absolutely.
I'm gonna crop it and get it.
Yeah, I had to like go.
I have a picture. I have a picture.
You can see it a lot better. on his body so no pinching or squeezing. And then also, even though he's super nice and used to be around people, we're not going to poke him in the eye or the face because he doesn't really like it. So we're going to keep him nice and comfortable, okay? And then once you're all done, make sure that the hand sanitizer you have something over here and running around this
They haven't told me I'm even know how old they were. Why? Why or am I? Am I? Yeah, so it's a chicken. I like chicken. Just like we ate chicken last night for dinner.
Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get started with our Live with 30 White Line Safari show. Can y'all hear me all right? I feel like that speaker sounds weird. Does that sound weird? Okay, cool. I think we're okay. Alright, we're going to get started. Hi, my name is Dina. I'm one of the mammal keepers here at the zoo. I take care of all the carnivores you see behind me. Before we get started with the stars of our show, if this is your first time visiting our facility, we'd love to give you a little bit of background on where you're at. So we were established here in 1967 as just a snake farm, so that farm building y'all came into with all the reptiles and snakes in it. That's all it was for quite a few decades. There was none of this out here. Then a little over 10 years ago, we came under new ownership, and they had a vision to turn this place into more of a zoo-like setting, so we expanded outwards into kind of what you see today, but we're always in the progress of upgrading and expanding. We're currently updating all the exhibits. Some areas kind of done, soon we'll hit all the outer edges, but right now our main focus is our newest construction kind of right here in the middle, if you haven't noticed. That's going to be our new capybara exhibit, so eventually we'll have all of our capybaras there with that koi pond for them to swim in, and since they're a semi-aquatic animal, that'll be pretty exciting, so definitely come back in the near future to see that completed. Couple new members of our family, mainly in the form of babies. We just have our new baby camel named Bill over at the camel yard. If you haven't seen him yet, he's the cutest thing in the world. Very unique in coloring, so definitely check him out after the show. And then, of course, all the baby goats in the petting zoo. They're about a month and a half old at this point, but they're still adorable. We are family owned and operated, so thank you so much for coming out. Just know when you're here, if you're spending money, you're directly helping us take care of these guys. We cannot do it without you, so thank you so much. And lastly, under that new ownership, we were recently accredited by the ZAA, which is the Zoological Association of America, which is kind of a flex whenever it comes to zoological settings like this, because it means we hold our animal care in a high standard. They give us resources to go above and beyond that. And then, of course, joining worldwide conservation efforts and some pretty different animals we have here, such as our white lions, which are a critically endangered species. So we got some pretty cool signage when you're walking around reading about the animals. Take a look at the signs. Typically in a red font, it will tell you which animals we have here that are either vulnerable to endangerment, currently endangered, or critically endangered. But enough of that, I'll go ahead and get started with the stars of our show since they've been waiting super patiently. I do apologize, he is in a bad mood today, so he's just going to be a little growly, he's a little jumpy. Don't worry, I'm closer to him than you are. But we're behind our white lions. We have Montessori right in the front, our male, and then Ingala lounging in the back, our female. These guys are about 11 years old, which is actually geriatric whenever it comes to lions. Usually out in the wild, they only live to about 10 years. However, in human care, they can live well into their 20s, so I think they'll be here for a lot longer for sure. These guys are really cool animals. Typically, when you have a white variation of an animal, you think of them as being albino, right? Which is actually not the case for white lions. They're what's called leucistic, which is just a fancy term meaning they hold a rare recessive gene that makes them super light in color. So they're lacking in melanin, but it's not completely absent like in albino animals. They also don't have any outstanding health problems, so albinism usually comes with deafness and blindness, right, amongst other things. These guys, they are just as healthy as regular tan lions. The only difference is their color. And I will say, I don't bathe ours, so they're a little dirty. Typically, they're like Snow White, so they're a little off color, but it's fine. We can imagine they're clean. I'll go ahead and start feeding them a little bit. Let's talk about them more. It's a little grumpy, so we'll see how this goes. But typically, during the shows, we do what's called behavior training. Because, like I said, I can't physically go in here with these guys, but we still have to be able to check out their body condition to make sure they're healthy and they're doing okay. So I have a few different cues I can have him do in order to be able to get up and show me his body. So the first one we'll do is his feet. We'll see if he, hey, chicken right here, chicken, hey, make a love, chicken. Oh, he's in a bad mood. There you go. So I gotta put his collarbone there, look at his nails, look at his toe beans. And then I'll be able to reward him with that to let him know, yep, you did exactly what I wanted you to do. All the way up, be able to look at his underbelly there, be able to check out his body. It looks pretty good. His favorite one is I can have him like, she's not coming up, there. I have him like all the way on the ground, be able to look at his back, look at his mate there. And then I can also have him open his mouth up, but since he's growly today, he's already opening his mouth. But yeah, so those are just a few behaviors that we can do in order to look at his body condition condition, everything looks great. We have here was about a pound of chicken. Don't worry, nowhere near their full diet at all. They actually get about 12 pounds each of a mixture of chicken and beef later in their bedrooms. But just for the show, we'll give them a pound, and then I'll add a pound to the female's diet a little bit later so she didn't get to participate. But mixture of chicken and beef, like all of our carnivores, made about 6 days a week. No, don't worry, it's not the chicken's ready to repeat. This is for you guys to enjoy. We actually get all of our food donated to us from grocery stores. So this is stuff you and I eat in its raw form, and then we'll add supplements on top of it to make it healthier for these guys. And if you caught that, I did these 6 days a week, so all of our carnivores